Hi, it's Thad at Willoway Nurseries. It's March 19th. We're at growing degree days of 97 degree days here as of yesterday. So there's some notable things. You should see magnolia, star magnolia in bloom. It seems a little difficult to talk about some of these things in bloom when we have snow on the ground here and it's cold. That's one of the reasons we're in this house. I'll get to that in a minute. We have a couple things of emergence at 89 degrees. White pine weevil adult emergent happens. 92, we have eastern tent caterpillar emergence. So be watching like malice right now would be a good one to look at. You might get small tents in the crotching of the branches. Get started here fairly shortly when the weather warms up a little bit and the sun comes back out again. And then coming up at 128 days is large case bearer. That actually you start to see emergence there. So there's a few things that are getting started here. We're start to talk about insects that get going. Forsythia's in full bloom right now, the early ones, and we'll see that progression. There's a whole range of Forsythia that bloom at different times here in the spring, but they've started already, so we should see that. On that note, we did put some in our coolers to hold them back a little bit so we have a longer bloom period for some of the northern shipping. So we'll have those are nice and ready. We have a few other plants we put in like azaleas. And then Cornus moss is in full bloom. I was back by our fields the other day and they're digging B&B, but you can see the yellow flowers on all the branches out in the field, so they're really nice looking right now. One of the reasons we circled back to this, we did a video earlier about protecting plants from the cold swings in the spring. As you can see in here, we've got quite a bit of emergence in our house. So this is when the point where they're real tender. This is where we really don't want these exposed to direct cold. We keep these houses still at a minimum temperature. They're at like 32, 34 degrees. But with the heat that we've had to bring our degree days up as quickly, we're running about 2 weeks ahead of our normal degree day average for the last like 8 years. So we're a little ahead of schedule, but we had a lot of sun and it got warm in these houses and we can't vent them more than you can see. We got drop vents on the sides and the end doors, but at this point we don't cut the plastic because of these temperature swings. So if you get something like this, it's perfectly fine. You just have to do a little protection, make sure that you get it in someplace where it's a little bit warmer than the outside and protected from a frost settling onto the branches. But you can see we've got really nice looking color here, good roots coming around. So they're waking up. We see all the white roots. That means they're waked up and active. So we'll have a nice crop here. We've got some eclipse down in the back there that are starting to break. One thing to note, that's a new plant this year. It's got the dark purple foliage on it. We're really excited about it. We've upped production in it. Comes in that nice purple pot. And one of the things I noticed is it breaks earlier than some of the other hydrangeas. So that's a little bit interesting just from the standpoint as it came on and a little bit earlier on in the season. So really nice plant. Hi, it's Thad again at Willoway. We're in one of our bigger ranges. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the behind the scene process. We're sweating roses. So these were bare root roses we canned up in February. We brought in here, left the heat at minimal heat. We put everything can to can. We put these metal hoops on for tenting. We pull the plastic over here when we want to start getting them going here. They're watered well, so they're just kind of getting established. But the sweating is really to make the buds break. So we're looking for a lot of breaks. This is about ready to come off. We've taken a lot off this last week. Last week was extremely sunny and warm, and it really brought this stuff out. Before they looked like sticks. Now we've got leaves on them. So this is some stuff we took off last week. You can see we got a lot of leaves there, breaks going, really starting to establish. And this stuff is starting to break. There's a few of them in here that don't have a lot of breaks yet, like this. You can see the breaks are happening all over, and so they're coming. We'll probably leave this on for a couple of days more just to make sure we got all the breaks, but like something like this is ready for the tenting to come off. So we're kind of at a transition period with these. It's one of the processes. We're trying to get a lot of humidity and moisture to get those buds and the stems to swell out and push out and get going and active here earlier. So One of the processes we do every year, pretty successful with bare root roses.